Family is complicated. None of us see eye to eye when decisions need to be made. We pay lip service to connection, togetherness, and community. Until we don't. Under the guise of grief and protection, we blind ourselves, closing our eyes, while the bonds that tie us to one another shackle us without realizing in our make-believe world, coping even has consequences. We share its burden with others, weighing them down in an effort to deny what actually happened. In Lumiere, you're not saving the world, make no mistake. You're saving yourself. Loss of family, especially the sudden kind, just hits different, comes out of nowhere, makes us feel vulnerable and weak. The survivor's guilt, they call it. Why her and not you? As if you could have prevented it. Do something about it, I guess. Was it divine intervention or punishment? If only you were smarter, stronger, and better, could you save her then? No one knows the answer. No one cares for those who are left behind, still breathing maybe, but living? What if this second chance at life was not a blessing, but a curse? If your beautiful sister was wearing this ugly mask, what would you do?
My beautiful sister doesn't need this ugly mask.
You embrace her, yet you're condemning her to die. Do you know what it means to disappear into nothingness? Have you thought through the consequences? Not just for you, or even me, but for them. Their memories, their dreams, their love for each other. Who really is the one painting death? And who paints life instead? You think you're ready to pay the price. But are you willing to let them pay the price for you?
She's a girl. She's beautiful. What a lovely voice. Did you decide on a name?
They will finally feel the flames, flames that run down through my veins.
You will struggle.
I will make the city burn. We're not planning to return.
I want you to know.
Trying so hard to be free, to make you see what I see.
You'll find people to call your own.
Hold on to your wishes if you can't hold on to me.
And you will know pain.
Forgive me for letting you down. Forgive me for letting you down again. I guess I'm not strong enough right now. Forgive me for letting you down. Forgive me for letting you down again. I guess I'm not strong enough right now. Oh, my
Imagine a number on a monolith, going down each year like a prophecy, knowing exactly when you'll die with your gamache. How would you live your life? What would you do differently today? Not just you, but also think about the children. If you give birth at the number 33, your child will die by the time she gets to 17. Not even an adult yet, but her life will be at its end. As the more you delay the inevitable, the shorter your daughter's lifespan will be. Lumiere is a world that doesn't wait for you to fall in love. What if you can't find the one? What if your partner hesitates? Maybe she doesn't want her child to bear the burden of this world. Maybe she doesn't want to bet her future on an expedition success in this unforgiving world. See, Sophie loves children so much that she ironically refuses to have her own. Maybe this is why they went their separate ways, as Gustave, despite the bleakness of Lumiere, wants a child, trusting that if he can't, someone else can give her a fighting chance. When one falls, we continue. But I guess legacy can take many forms, right? Gustave wasn't just a brother to Maelle, but also a father, enjoying the uselessness of today and readying their usefulness for tomorrow, as they will do a lot more than just throwing rocks soon. An expeditioner's life lays the trail for them, muscling the struggle against the Paintress. Loss of a life is never in vain, as when one falls we continue. But still, watching someone die is no small thing. Death changes the way you look at life, even if they're not together anymore. Gustave cares for her still. With flower in his hands, she admires Gustave's resolve, even if a bit naive considering the expedition's failure rate. Even Sophie cannot deny that if it were to ever happen, only someone stubborn like Gustave could pull it off. Not everyone is so eager to die as Gustave. Some people just don't want to risk it. They want to live the remainder of their lives inside, believing how the expeditions are on a fool's errand. Why not live the last year of your life in peace? But as Gustave would probably say, without sacrifice, there can never be change.
Brightest smile. You will cry iridescent tears. You will know love, and you will know pain. Because we live in an unforgiving world. But you are strong, and you will survive. You will struggle, and you will learn. You'll find people to call your own. And you will shine as their guiding light, for you will change the world. You do that, we both die. Hey. Fucking hell. Wake up, Gustave.
Lune. The others.
I know. We're the only ones left. You don't get to die.
It's just a matter of time before we're already dead. Look around, look.
Too much sacrifice can also break you. Without the expedition, what fighting chance you have? What are you even fighting for at this point? A meaningless struggle. Are you doing it for the people back at Lumiere? Sure, but their voices, they're so distant now. And who was that guy? How can you even fight against him? Well, doesn't matter anymore. The white-haired man, Renoir, represented an unstoppable force in the eyes of the expeditioners. Seemingly one of their own, betrayed them for some reason. He doesn't need tactics. He doesn't need strategies. He can just brute force his way to win. Everyone's flames will be extinguished, given the time. If Maelle is still out there, alive, somewhere, we're gonna find her, ensure she's safe before he gets to her. Right now, the Paintress is not important. Fuck the mission. It is true that when one falls, we continue. How Lumiere's future is more important than any individual life. Until it isn't. After all, it is hard to stick to protocol when the stakes are so high, when Maelle's life, your sister's, your daughter's life is on the line.
I am not letting Maelle die out here. I'm taking her home.
What? No, we have a mission!
Oh, fuck the mission! Fuck the mission, Lune! What are we gonna do, huh? Tell me. What are we gonna do? We're gonna take down the Paintress, just the three of us? My gun and your sparks?
I didn't take you for a coward.
I'm not a coward.
You swore the oath. When one falls, we continue.
Yes, I know.
When one falls. When one falls. Not if. When. We knew not all of us would make it. But we continue. As long as even one of us stands, our fight is not over.
But I'm not afraid to fight, it's just Maelle, she's...
Maelle swore the same oath.
I know that!
She chose her life. You and I... Come on, we always said the future of Lumiere is more important than
any individual life, yes.
Do you still believe that? Do you still believe that? Do you?
I hope I do.
And here we are. She's alive. She's safe. But now, he needs to keep her that way. That is the hard part. Unlike in Lumiere, where death is predictable, almost gentle, written before our eyes in the Paintress's warm embrace, it is very violent out there, erratic, cruel, traumatic. You never get used to death. No one does. To protect Maelle going forward, she needs to be able to protect herself. Can't rely on Gustave forever. If the man from the beach comes back, if death approaches, you don't fight. You run. I have a confession to make. Majority of this expedition, I was lost. as the player. I wasn't sure what was happening in the story, who to trust, the Paintress, Nevrons, the masked woman, the white-haired man, whatever the fuck it was hard for me to piece it together, what the angle was. And I suppose Maelle also felt the same, the confusion, maybe her entire life. Things we don't understand, they make us feel small and powerless. But if we focus on what we do understand, what we have now, we have each other, this connection, we have a mission, maybe that's enough to keep us going. It makes me as the player a little less lost since we're lost together.
I've been having nightmares. I don't understand what's happening. And I feel like I never understood. Like, I'm always missing something that everyone else just gets. In Lumiere, life never made sense and I never fit, and now out here, when it was just starting to maybe feel good, then this happens and...
Yeah. I hate it too. Things we don't understand. They just make us feel small and powerless. But it helps, you know, to focus on the things I do understand, on the people I care about and who care about me. And, you know, now I feel a little less lost, because at least we're lost together. What? What? Stop it. Too cheesy? No. Well, if it makes you feel better, I was even more lost when I was 16.
I heard that was because you were only thinking about girls.
Yep, but guess what? The girls weren't thinking about me at all.
I believe that.
Yeah. You can talk to me, you know. We're family.
Gustave, the person we've been attached to all this time, met an untimely demise. And the white-haired man, Renoir, showed a weakness for the first time, which is something not a lot of people speak about. Have you ever wondered why he's not telling Maelle the truth? The truth that if they kill the Paintress, they're all gonna die. After all, it would make his life so much easier. Renoir wouldn't need to fight the expedition anymore. By directing the party towards the real Renoir underneath the monolith, he can keep the Paintress safe. All Aline, the Paintress, is doing was warning the poor souls with the number on the monolith, so that they know when they're gonna die, so that they can say goodbye. The Paintress wasn't the one killing them. That was a truth that Verso learned in Expedition Zero alongside Renoir by real Clea, who wanted their strength to defeat the Paintress, in an effort to kick Papa out of the canvas. To that end, by making her Nevrons kill the expeditions, Clea is keeping Chroma inside their bodies, not feeding the Paintress as a result, strengthening Renoir underneath the monolith. But it was him who was killing all these people. Verso and Painted Renoir disagreed because, as mother and father, they were in a stalemate of sorts. This Renoir was just Aline's coping mechanism inside the canvas. If her husband was against her in real life, then maybe the Renoir in her painting can be her protector, supporting her. The knight in shining armor. Renoir had to carry the regret for losing her son, which means all he had to do to stop the expedition is to tell Maelle the truth. If they knew Paintress's true nature, how she's a victim, then they won't attack her, extending his time with his family without violence. So the question is, why doesn't he do it? Because of Verso, his son. This intimidating old man can do a lot of things, but one thing he cannot do is to betray his son, to dismiss his agency. There are only 4 things he cares about: Verso, Alicia, Clea, and Aline. But he is conflicted. He's conflicted because if he allows Verso to help the expedition to kick the Paintress out of the canvas, then Alicia will die, condemning her to die, along with everyone else. If he tells the truth about the Paintress to Maelle, even though he will solve all his problems, he will lose Verso instead, his only son. He will never see his face ever again. At least right now there's still this semblance of father and son relationship. They're still talking to each other. In fact, despite being immortal in this world, they kept their battle scars intact. They consciously choose to not heal the scars over their eyes, to remind themselves of their connection, of their bond.
Would a vain person keep this scar? I could heal it, but I don't.
Oh? Why is that?
It's a reminder of the price I paid to stand on my own 2 feet. But it meant walking away from people I cared about.
It's probably not a coincidence then, that Renoir has a similar scar.
Yeah. We disagreed on pretty much everything. Tactics, goals, what lines we wouldn't cross. I had to walk away, but he was resistant.
You fought?
It was the first time we ever raised a hand against the other.
If you can control your healing, that means Renoir can too. And he made the same choice as you.
Oh, I never thought of it that way.
Now it is easier to see why Renoir is so hesitant, because if Verso finds out that he told the truth to Maelle behind his back, the truth about the Paintress and who really is behind the gamache, Aline, Verso's mother, will forever be trapped in the canvas, and he won't be his father anymore. That won't do. Renoir has already lost his son once. Never again. Verso would hate him for eternity. And for what? They already have only 33 years on the monolith. The real Renoir underneath the monolith will simply be back into the canvas after being kicked out. The gamages will be back almost instantaneously. See, killing the curator, the real Renoir, is no solution. It won't give his son eternity. In that scenario, Verso would permanently heal that scar over his eye for shackling Aline to the canvas forever. To prevent that, Renoir keeps his mouth shut, warns Maelle to leave in her nightmares instead of telling her the truth. For decades, hoping that this expedition will also fail and Verso will continue to spin his wheels. At least that way Alicia and Verso, they can continue to be a family, unlike the broken one outside. But he doesn't care about this Maelle. After all, his daughter is Alicia.
This won't make sense to you now. But we both want what's best for our families. I'm sorry you're caught in the middle, but I did try to warn you. It's been a while. Stay out of this. You chose to walk away. You don't get to come back now and interfere.
You've lived more than a lifetime. It's time to let her go.
A lifetime. A lifetime with my family torn apart. No. I want my family back.
It's not your family. But she is.
You would use her.
She chose to come. I didn't make the rules between you two. It's okay. I'll handle things here. Get back to your friends. Go.
So that's it. You've set us down this path. But are you ready for the consequences?
She'll never paint again.
Renoir doesn't want a lifetime with his family torn apart. He wants his family back. And initially, in this scene, after trying to get Maelle into her real body, the real Renoir and Aline have a fight. He does not let Maelle get kicked out of the canvas because the Expedition 33 needs to finish what they've started. She needs to get Aline out of the canvas. She needs to go back. And then they'll leave together. It is never easy to deal with grief, but when one falls, we continue. That's what Gustave taught her. But for how long can you keep that up? Burying everyone you know while you live on can wear you down a bit. As part of the Expedition Zero, both Verso and Renoir used to work together. After Clea told him the truth, he had to go back to tell the expedition that the Paintress was a red herring, that she was not killing people, but they did not believe him. They attacked them, and Verso and Renoir had to kill them all. Now, as traitors, they can't go back. After a while, Verso lost his conviction to protect his mother. Verso was tired. To protect his mother, he needed to end countless lives. What can we do after losing a loved one? Does it even matter if someone offers their condolences? How can they understand? Bunch of empty words. All we can do is to carry them with us, whether a memory, a clothing, a lesson they taught us. Parts of themselves can be immortalized with us. Maybe that is the best way to repay their legacy, to honor them. Have you ever wondered why would a 16-year-old girl want to drown herself in the mud to risk her life so young in an expedition? She wants to escape, which is precisely what she does in her ending. To not worry about who you are, your place in the world, and what you really want in real life. To distract yourself with others and cruelty of the world. Under the guise of caring for others. As Verso says, you can't always shoulder the world's problems. It will drain you fast. Gustave would probably disagree to that. If more of us cared, he would say, it would lighten the load for everyone. And precisely because Maelle and Gustave are so similar, he let Renoir kill him that night.
Stop him from painting. Please, listen to me. Only unpaint me. Unpaint me.
Stop saying that.
I don't want this life. I don't want this life.
I just...
You're right. About condolences. We offer them because we don't know what else to say, but there's no comfort there. All we can do is carry them with us.
Yes.
sadness. Hey, why did you join the expedition? I mean, with the Gamage, I understand the rest of the team's decision, but you're half their age.
Out here seemed better than in there at the time.
It's natural. Wanting to escape a life you don't want.
Escape. Yeah. That's what I wanted. But Gustave and the others, they really want to change things.
Well, changing your life also counts. Can't always shoulder the world's problems, you know? It'll drain you fast.
Gustave would probably say, if more of us cared, then it would lighten the load for everyone.
He sounds like a good guy.
Renoir might be selfish, but he's not the villain. He is respecting his son's agency and actively refuses to tell Maelle the truth, despite knowing how it would make his job so much easier if she knew the truth about who she really is. Verso is leading everyone to death by lying to everyone about what Paintress is doing. He doesn't want this life, maybe, sure, but what about others? What about all these people? But to that, Verso would probably say, I'm already dead. He should never have existed, you see. He died that day with that fire. All that Verso represents now is perpetuating her pain and attachment to this make-believe existence, like Aline's drug, what keeps her down here, what shackles her. The reason why she lost herself in the canvas. This is it. Because of that, Verso hates himself. No wonder he wants to die. He is making a decision for everyone else. And if Renoir is selfish, well, to a degree, so is his son, Verso. We're not trying to break the cycle of Gamage. We're trying to break the cycle of grief of the Descendre family. There's this really common saying where people say time heals all wounds, but sometimes death can do it better.
How do you do it? After all these years?
They say time heals all wounds.
Does it?
But I guess death heals all wounds too. Bad joke. Sorry. Death is not necessarily final.
What does that mean?
Gustave lives on in other ways, right? Through your memories, through his influence on your life and everyone else's, through the Lumina converter and his research.
Yeah, that's true, but that's not very comforting when I'm missing him.
Try talking to him. I imagine what they would say. How they would react to things. It helps me keep them alive in my mind.
I'll try that.
The Fracture was the cataclysmic event that reshaped the world and led to the annual disappearance of people based on their age. Lumiere was just this one family's fighting ground, an obsessed mother and a worried father in a stalemate, one above and the other below the monolith. To ensure entry to select few, Renoir created the Axons. Alicia tells us that these are her father's parables, representing different members of the Descendre family with hearts of pure chroma. The curator, a projection of Renoir, was to make a weapon that can break the barrier for expeditioners to go in for the kill. To free Aline from this obsession, on the way to Verso's Axon, Lune says, "He who guards truth with lies." And then Ciel goes, "Guard as in protect, or control." Both. By lying, Verso is both protecting his mother and controlling the expedition.
Art can be a window and art can be a mirror. And great art is both. Son, you'll never be a true artist if there's always a mask between you and the viewer, especially when the viewer is you.
This mask can't hurt me because it is me.
I regret that it caused you so much pain. What Aline did was unfair to you most of all. I know it seems absurd to offer oblivion as recompense, but perhaps that's the outcome we both desire.
What? Verso! Papa also said, hold on to each other. Verso, stop! You can't just decide this for everyone!
We're all hypocrites, doing the same thing to each other.
What about Lune and Ciel and Monoko? What about Esquier?
Ciel was right. Grief blinds us.
People want so badly to know what is behind the mask. Great art is both window and mirror, whether it is your mask or theirs. We all need masks, we all need to conceal our intentions, but to what end? Are you doing it for yourself or for others? When you wear a mask for a long time, it eventually consumes you, it becomes you. This mask can't hurt you because it is you. This is Verso. And Cyrene is Aline's axon, filled with emphatic feelings of emotion and attachment, unable to process her son's death, stricken with grief, dancing the pain and sadness away, charming her foes. These are the parables of the Descender family, a window to their souls, to their secrets and desires. Do the lives of the painting actually matter? Do they have free will? Do Gustave and Ciel and Monoko and Esquier have free will? On some level, yes. But on another level, they're just brushstrokes to mask Aline's pain.
Child, it will get better, I promise you. But this is not the way. Your friends speak truth. And it changes nothing. You can hate me, but that's a choice I must make.
What is real and what is imaginary might just be the question Verso needs to answer. When Renoir strengthens his resolve to stop Verso by saying, if saving you means losing you, he is willing to use violence. But that's it. He would never tell Maelle the truth. Let me say that if Renoir could give Verso immortality right here and right now, he would. All that telling the truth to Maelle would just give him 33 years. And those would be 33 years of Verso hating him, which means saving you does not mean losing you in this case. His previous confusion, hesitation, and sadness to see Verso like this, wanting to die, despite being loved by his father and sister so much, is not easy to process. His sadness is now replaced with a stern and tough love, willing to go that far just to keep him physically alive. Just like Mobius N in Xenoblade Chronicles 3, even if he hates him for it. After all, he lost his son once, he won't lose him again. Living, whatever the cost, burying your friends for so long, expedition after expedition, knowing that your own existence is why your mother is suffering, the reason why she can't move on, takes a toll on you. Sometimes to start living, to process our emotions, we might need to end our illusions, to lay our what-ifs and if-onlys to rest, to know when to be close and when to let go.
She's not the only one who grieves. The pain of losing you, she made me inherited. Punishment, perhaps, for not being there when it mattered. I refuse to lose my son.
That son was a stranger.
But you're not. You're not.
You lost me years ago, and I lost you.
So you leave us no choice. Tell me, how are you different from her in doing this?
I'm tired.
So trust me. We are your family.
Family is complicated.
If saving you means losing you, then so be it.
We only need to incapacitate him.
We'll find a way to kill him. What's happening. I feel like I never understood. I'm always missing something that everyone else just gets. Lumiere life never made sense, and I never fit, and now up here, when it was just starting to maybe feel good, and this happens, and...
And now that Aline is out, they need to hide the canvas so that she cannot come back. A good hiding spot it may be, it is still temporary. She will find it, eventually. This only truly ends if you destroy the canvas, so that the allure and the temptation to lose yourself in fantasy is no longer. And that means stopping the final sliver of Verso's soul from the painting. The kid Verso must be tired indeed. Reborn as one of Aline's creations, Maelle was born, now remembering her identity as she passes away. Alicia is here now to get Renoir out, as instructed by Clea, but there is one little problem. She doesn't want to go back anymore. Maybe this was her mother's curse. As her creation as Maelle, she fell in love In this world, in this canvas, the people, her friends, they were much more than a painting. They were real. And certainly much better than her life outside. I mean, think about it. Your throat, your face, all burned. You can't speak, you can't eat, you can't move without pain coursing through your body. Who's gonna be friends with you? How are you gonna enjoy your life as a husk? What life are we talking about here? What I'm trying to say is that it is no wonder Alicia wants to stay. She can control this world unlike the one outside. She can find certainty and comfort here. A world without pain. Finally, it is possible now. There is no more conflict between the father and the mother. She can revive Gustave as the Paintress, hear his voice again, live a peaceful life. Why would she leave? Papa needs to go back. And her name is not Alicia. She's staying here as Maelle.
If I'd listened to Maman, if I hadn't trusted the writers, Verso would still be alive and you
Wouldn't exist.
wouldn't be caught in the middle. Maman did a terrible thing, painting you into Verso's canvas, giving you his memories, pretending the fire only took me. But I'm glad you exist.
Your father was right to erase everyone. It's better this way.
Better for who? Verso would never have wanted his canvas gone. He loved Esquier and his gestrels and grandes.
It was killing our mother. Staying here so long in a make-believe world with her make-believe family.
It's not make-believe. It's not. You're not to me. Papa's here. He'll help me fix Lumiere.
Will he?
Maman painted a rather unflattering portrait of him. He's much warmer than the Renoir, you know.
I bet.
The moment of truth, seeing her father Renoir finally unshackled from Aline's oppression, ready to leave with his daughter Alicia into the real world. It might seem absurd to offer oblivion as recompense, especially after everything he had gone through, but perhaps that's the outcome both Renoir and Verso desire. And if Alicia stays here while her real body's outside, one day she will die, losing herself in the canvas, just like her mother. Maybe for the sake of the living, we might need to part with the dead. Unlike what most people believe, painting isn't about verisimilitude, the believability of their existence. It's about essence, the truth of who they are, their relation to the canvas and everyone else. The Axons do not look like Aline and Verso. They're not realistic, but they represent their essence, painted by Renoir, the siren and the mask keeper. By focusing her mind on that, Maelle can now breathe life into the disaster expedition once again.
Painting isn't about verisimilitude, it's about essence. Truth of who they are. Your father made the Axons, right?
She who plays with wonder, he who guards truth with lies.
They're the essence of your mother and your brother.
Let's just be real. He knows how powerful and intoxicating this all is, how deeply attached beings we are. In fact, I've read this research some time ago that concludes how most of us care less about our real neighbors compared to Joel's death in The Last of Us Part 2. Neuroscience says that our brains struggle to distinguish between what is real and what is fantasy. Even Renoir was enthralled and it nearly killed him. This is Verso's last memory, and despite that, life keeps forcing cruel choices. The choices of parents leave indelible marks upon their children. Not always on your face, but in your soul. It is true that ultimately the voices in their head have to be their own. Maelle can assert her own independence and decide to stay in the painting. But what she misses is that it is ultimately a form of escape. I have to be honest here, I've never seen a narrative where the final antagonist is actively arguing for a protagonist position. Everything that Renoir is saying is true. How this make-believe world with its make-believe people are only perpetuating the grief and sadness under the guise of free will. How the connections that we've formed in this world is real. That belief is what keeps Maelle shackled in Lumiere, not knowing when to be close and when to let go. In fact, that was a red herring. That was exactly what shackled her mother to this world. After the fire, his father, Renoir, wanted Alicia to find new joy in life, but not like this, not by rejection. If you feel guilty about Verso's death, then honor his memory by letting go. Do you really think Verso saved you for this? Do you think he would want you to drown in your sadness disguised as happiness? This story was never about a bunch of heroes against a god, the usual JRPG shtick. No, this was about family, and family is complicated. Aline is fighting her own essence, her Axon the Siren, so that she cannot heal her husband with life energy. I find this particularly ironic, because Aline is willing to heal anyone in this canvas, but Renoir, her real husband. Can you see how lost? It is very telling. The world doesn't just vanish because you've closed your eyes. And what is worse is that she's not just shackling herself again in the bars of her prison, but also Alicia, her daughter. And what is even crazier is that it wasn't always the case. Once upon a time, the roles were reversed. Renoir was obsessed with his creations in a canvas, and it was Aline who pulled him out of there. For him to open his eyes, reminding him that each day he'd spent in this canvas had a price. A price that his daughters had to pay in real life. Renoir trusts what she taught her, not what she says now. How to soar without flying too close to the sun. A risky strategy. But this is not a game.
Ironic. Your mother was the one who saved me when I lost myself in a canvas. She taught me how to safely use our gift. How to soar without flying too close to the sun. We painted hundreds of canvas worlds, pushing the very boundaries of creation. And she never let me forget that every day we spent here has a price.
So trust her. If she's doing this, then...
I trust what she taught me. This is not a game. You think you know what's at stake, but you don't.
I know precisely what's at stake. You want control. You want to feel like you're doing something. You couldn't save Verso, so you want to save us. Except you're not. Destroying the canvas won't help us move on. It'll just deny us the one place that helped us feel again. I'm not leaving you forever. Just a little longer.
I want to trust you, but...
You can.
He will keep the lights on for her, hope she finds peace. He wants to believe Alicia, but he knows he's talking to Maelle. She will never be back. While Verso's last remaining soul is toiling away as the original painter, he realizes this, that her sister was lying. Just as he is tired of living, Verso is tired of painting. Stop painting worlds in your own image. Stop painting people and bestowing them with agency. Stop playing God. Stop distracting yourself for just 1 second.
See things as they are, not how you want them to be.
What?
Okay? Stick to the facts. Accept what happened. Verso is dead. We're all hypocrites, doing the same thing to each other, enabling our fucking traumas over and over. No one wants to make the hard choices, no one wants to carry the burden, no one wants to be the scapegoat. But closing our eyes isn't the solution. Lune, Ciel, Monaco, Esquier, they're just figments of Aline and Verso's imagination. I know they felt so real, but that's all they are. Nothing more than a convincing illusion.
Wait. Maelle!
Right before Alicia was erased by Maelle, Verso was so angry at her for not giving him the chance to say goodbye. But my question is, would he? Would he ever say goodbye to her sister consciously? Probably not. Sometimes we need to let go even if we don't want to. Even if we're not ready. Right here, Maelle forced Verso to let go of Alicia so that she can move on. That's what was best for her. Now it is time for you to let go. There are things in this world that we can never outrun, even with the realest of illusions. They are not worth dying for. I know that this scene feels melancholic, so sad, honoring Verso's memory, looking at his grave, finally back in the harsh real world. Right? After all, Alicia was forced out of the canvas by Verso, actively against her will, bitter and sad for leaving them most likely. But underneath the grief, there's actually joy, acceptance, healing, conscious letting go for the first time. I'm not just talking about Verso, but also them, her friends, waving Esquier, Gustave, Monaco, Lune, Ciel, everyone in Lumiere, goodbye. Letting go of them consciously, not because Verso forced her out of the canvas, but because it is the only way to move on. Isn't it ironic that Verso broke them, his death? It was Verso yet again who brought them together. In contrast, all that I'm seeing in this scene is this superficial happiness. Everyone seems joyful, excited, and living their lives. After all, Gustave's back, repainted in Maelle's image, Sophie, even little Verso, ready for his piano recital. Seemingly everything is perfect. But it is a little too perfect. The most tragic thing of all is that if Verso was here, really here, he would say the same thing he said to Alicia. My beautiful sister doesn't need this ugly mask.